Hello, I'm Damon Bailey from IELTS Whiz. In this video, we're going to look at the band descriptors for writing task 1. These band descriptors are used as the scoring criteria for writing task 1, so it's really useful to understand how the examiner gives you a band score and exactly what they're looking for during this section of the IELTS test.
The band descriptors are guidelines used by examiners when marking writing task 1 and task 2. If you understand what the examiner is looking for when assessing your writing, it can help you to make sure you include everything you need to maximize your score. There are 4 criteria that the examiners use to assess you for writing task 1. The 4 criteria are firstly task achievement. For task achievement, the examiner is looking at how well you have answered the question. For example, does it provide sufficient detail? Is it accurate? Have you made comparisons? Next, we look at coherence and cohesion. This examines the structure of your answer. Do you use paragraphing effectively? Is there logical grouping of ideas? Are linking words used effectively? Next is lexical resource, which is also known as vocabulary, and the examiner is looking at your range and accuracy. Is a wide range of vocabulary used? Is the vocabulary used accurately? Are there spelling mistakes? And finally, grammatical range and accuracy. For this criteria, the examiner will look at the range of structures you use, as well as the accuracy. Are a range of simple and complex structures used? Are there errors in the sentence formation? Are there errors in grammar and word formation? Remember, these 4 criteria are worth equal amounts, so they represent 25% of your score, and you will be given a score for each one. It is therefore important not to neglect any one criteria. These 4 criteria are then broken down further into what are known as band descriptors. The band scores range from 0 to 9, 0 being the lowest score, which means there was no attempt to answer the question, or it was completely memorized, up to band 9, which is the highest score. Here's a copy of the task 1 writing band descriptors, which may look confusing, but we're going to go through them and pick out the main things you need to know and understand. We will be looking at the band descriptors for bands 6 to 9 because most students who want to go to university or people wanting to emigrate to another country will normally be targeting this range when doing the IELTS test. Let's now look at the band descriptors in more detail. I know some people watching may not be in the band at 6 to 9 range yet, but this will show you the things you need to be doing to get there in the future. First, let's look at task achievement. You'll get a higher score for task achievement if you fully address the question or task. You need to illustrate the key features in the infographic, and you need to give a fully developed response. For a high score, you need to have an appropriate overview that highlights the key features, and also ensure your report is accurate. You'll need to make comparisons where relevant, and in writing task 1, you do not need to express an opinion because you're reporting on the infographic provided. You also need to make sure that you write 150 words or more. The key differences between the band scores is that for band 6, the candidate addresses the requirements of the task, but some details may be inappropriate or inaccurate. For band 7, the candidate covers the requirements of the task, but some features might need to be developed more. For band 8, the candidate covers the task sufficiently and illustrates key features. And for band 9, the candidate fully satisfies all requirements of the task and gives a fully developed answer. Now we'll move on to coherence and cohesion. You'll get a higher score for coherence and cohesion if you paraphrase effectively with no loss of meaning, if you organize and group your ideas in a logical way, if you also use paragraphing effectively. We recommend 4 paragraphs for writing task 1. Also, you need to use cohesive devices, such as linking words effectively and accurately, and use referencing language when appropriate. For example, words such as respectively, this, or it. The key differences between the band scores is that for band 6, the candidate may not use referencing language, or there are errors in linking within and between the sentences. For band 7, there may be under or overuse of cohesive devices, such as transitional words. For the higher scores, such as band 8, we see that the candidate uses paragraphing appropriately, sequences effectively, has clear organization, and manages cohesion well. And for band 9, the ideas tie together smoothly and clearly, and cohesion is used naturally so as not to attract attention. This includes transitional words. And paragraphing is also used skillfully. Moving on to lexical resource or vocabulary. You'll get a higher score if you use a sufficient range of vocabulary, you use vocabulary accurately, you make only rare errors in spelling and word formation, you use some less common vocabulary skillfully, you collocate correctly, that is, you use words with other words correctly, and you do not use informal language or abbreviations because you are in a testing situation. The key differences between the band scores is that for band 6, the vocabulary used is adequate, but some less common vocabulary is sometimes inaccurate, and there are some errors in word formation and spelling. For band 7, the candidate uses a sufficient range of vocabulary, including less common vocabulary, with awareness of collocation. And there are occasional errors in spelling or word formation. Now, when looking at the highest band scores, we can see that the key differences between the band scores is that for band 8, the candidate uses a wide range of vocabulary with precision. There are occasional inaccuracies in collocation, with only rare spelling errors. And for band 9, the candidate uses a wide range of vocabulary skillfully and naturally. Any errors are rare and only due to occasional slips. And finally, we'll look at grammatical range and accuracy, or grammar. You'll get a higher score if you use a wide range of sentence structures, you use a variety of complex structures, you avoid making mistakes and you create error-free sentences, you use the appropriate tense for the question, such as past, present, or future tense, and you use correct punctuation. The key differences between the band scores is that for band 6, the candidate uses a mix of simple and complex sentences, but there are some errors in grammar and punctuation. For band 7, the candidate uses a mix of complex structures and produces frequent error-free sentences. There is good control of grammar and punctuation, but there are still a few errors. To achieve band 8, candidates will need to use a wide range of structures, and most sentences should be error-free. And finally, for band 9, the candidate will use a wide range of structures with accuracy, and any errors are very rare. I hope that this video was useful and now you have a good understanding of what the examiner is looking for when you're doing task 1 of the writing test. You can now use this knowledge to your advantage to improve your band score during the writing test. If you need any further information, please check out our website at IELTSWhiz.com, and I look forward to seeing you in upcoming videos.